All right, yesterday I had a conversation with Chris Pink, Building and Construction Minister, off the back of a story from a business leader who says urgent reform is needed to address what he describes as a deepening mental health crisis in our construction sector. Marti Amos is his name, head of a mentoring service, The Professional Builder. And Amos claims nearly one construction worker dies by suicide every week. And there's a few reasons why Marti believes why many builders end up finding themselves, between a rock and a hard place. They just don't know what they're doing. Why is that? Not all of them, but it's been a really tough couple of years in the construction sector for all. But research shows that suicide rates in the construction industry, are 25% higher than other sectors. And migrant workers, apprentices and labourers are among those most at risk. So, look, I enjoyed having a chat with the minister yesterday, and he spoke that the government was well aware and they were, doing their best. But I wanted to follow it up, and so I want to welcome to the show Marti Amos from The Professional Builder. Hello, Marti.
Hi, Leah. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, my friend. As you heard, I spoke with the minister yesterday. He was very. He said, "Look, we are aware the government has put funding into things like mates in construction, and there's a new industry-led model, and we talked about that. But I wanted to speak with you because you kind of brought it to light, and you've known about, we've been working in this area for a long time. So I suppose, first of all, what is your story, Marti? How did you head this mentoring program?
So I grew up on Stewart Island, so born down there, 6 fingers, webbed feet, and then swam across the channel, went to Otago University, and majored in marketing, did an honours, a master's, started lecturing on marketing there and set up a business down there with a couple of mates. And then ventured north to Auckland because it got a bit too chilly in Otago, and worked as the marketing manager for Honda Motorcycles for New Zealand and then the country manager at Pirelli. And then got tired of working for the man and wanted to make a bigger impact in the world. And so I bought a business coaching franchise. And I noticed then that we had a lot of building company owners that we were attracting. And we were able to get them. They were fantastic at doing great projects, like great tradesmen, did great work. And they just needed a hand in the right place to understand their numbers to build a great business, because it's a different set of skills. Yeah. And so, we started to focus 12 years ago solely on building company owners. And then we've grown around the world from just 3 of us to we've got 65 people on our team, and 25 of those people are coaches. And, we help residential building company owners throughout New Zealand, Australia, the US, the UK and Canada grow a profitable business that gives them both more time and more money, rather than just a prison that sometimes you can feel trapped in if it's not going well.
So you, Marti, yourself didn't own a building business?
No, I'm not a builder.
Yeah. So isn't that interesting? But you've worked on. Well, it doesn't really matter because you work with them how that they can make their business profitable, and you give them, I gather, tools and systems to work through.
Exactly. So they're typically the experts at building projects. We're not teaching them how to build. We're teaching them how to build a great business. And quite often they come to us and they're lacking in 2 areas. One is knowledge. What should I do? I'm overwhelmed. I've got so much stuff, from project management to sales to marketing to pricing. And then 2, actually executing, because a lot of people have self-limiting beliefs like, if I leave site, everything turns to custard. Clients only want to deal with me. It's a 10% town. I can't charge more than that. And quite often they just need to be in a community where they see other people doing that I can hire great guys, I can charge what I'm worth, and I can actually run a profitable business and put systems in place so I can leave site, and I'm not at home pricing at 11 o'clock at night, working 75 hours a week, stressed, or wonder how I'm going to make payroll next week.
Yeah, gosh. I mean, most builders say they average, 70 odd hours up, aren't they, a week? Well, some of them.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it's a complex business, and you're dealing with big numbers, and typically it's someone's biggest investment of their life when they build a new home or they do a renovation. And so just small mistakes in either contracts, pricing, project management can have massive impact on their bank account.
You've said that you believe a major contributor too is that they lack, many, not all, but financial literacy.
Yes.
And when I thought about that, when I saw that, I thought, well, actually, yeah, because again, not being rude to builders, I mean, but because they are amazing craftsmen, but they might have left school early to be builders. They didn't want to sit there and sit through maths all the way through, and they know they work well with their hands, but maybe they're lacking some of them, and that's the finance side of it. And I can see where they would get themselves into trouble. So what do you suggest though, Marty? Because if they come to you and say, look, I just can't make head nor tails of the books, what do you do then?
100%. So business is a numbers game. Numbers tell us the language of what's working well, what sucks, what should we do more of, what do we need to change. And the first thing we do when a building company owner comes to us is we get their profit and loss statement for the last 2 years. We put it through our profit calculator to see how do they compare with other benchmarks in the industry, so our members. And then we say, okay, cool. If we were to make these changes in your pricing, your gross margin, your overheads, what difference could that make? And so we want to plug the holes in the bucket before we pour more fuel on the fire, because you can't scale chaos and you can't scale lack of profits. You'll just run faster on the hamster wheel. So if they're pricing a project at 20% margin on a fixed price contract, and then they've got labor overruns, hey, we're halfway through the project or halfway through the framing. It was meant to be 100 hours, but hey guys, we're at 72 hours already. What do we got to do to pull those 22 hours back? Otherwise, no one's getting their bonus. And then they can work with their team closer to have better structure, better feedback loops, better systems to make sure that the business is profitable, is sustainable, and they're not lying awake in bed at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking, oh my God, how do I figure this out? How do I get out of this prison? How do I meet payroll next week?
Yeah. And you've also highlighted the young, so you're talking now, so you've just described, a business that will come to you, but you've also called for more integration with trade qualifications, like for the younger ones that are coming through. Do you think, I mean, that's kind of the ambulance not at the top of the cliff, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like